that both decisive and conclusive measures in our decision-making process, whether it's business or personal, at every level, must be construed that these are the steps that is important to make very firm, stern, concrete, and valuable decisions. For instance, the current situation that we have with the conflict in the Middle East, all these are going against these United States because the leadership was not decisive or not conclusive. They did not study their approach before they act. Now they are in great destruction and everything is going contrary. Now they are saying, oh, they're starting to pull out. They want to lessen the pressure. They want talks, all because what we thought of was not comprehensively done or not decisively done. Because now we're seeing that the intelligent war game of not just expensive weaponry, but effective, decisive war strategy by Iran is turning out negative against American forces. Now they have been water devices that explodes when the ship crosses certain line. So the people are using strategy, not just military big bombs and millions of bombs, but strategic warfare. And this is the decisive, conclusive, thought-out process that Iran is using against the powerful West.
Okay.
So this subject today is very, very, very important to the general overall great decisions, whether you're a government or a person. Even in my own personal life, this subject today even caused me to take stock of decisions that I should have made. And in making those decisions, it would have put me in a greater winning position in putting myself first before I put others. So we must think decisive and conclusive if we want a solid and productive life. So thank you for unlocking this mental stability.
Thank you.
Of a thought. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor. Okay. We have somebody new. I don't know if Aggie, you want to join, because I see you say you want to join. But again, today we're talking about being decisive and decision making. And some people, because one thing for sure, our lives is the sum of our decision that we make. That's a very profound piece of statement that all of the time, you know, the first time I heard it, I thought it was really profound, because our lives, it's become every decision that we make in our lives, it just equal to who we are. And again, of course, there are decisions, there are certain things we can control and other things that we cannot control. But again, in life, we all of us have to make decisions from the moment that we are awake till the moment that we go to sleep. We have to make decisions. And also our bodies are making decisions for us, but we're talking about today how to make decisions, how to be more decisive, because once you are not decisive, we can have a situation that can make us depressed, or it can make us anxious, or it can make us going through a mental overload. It can zap out our energy because we are not making decisions that we know that we need to make. So this is a very important piece of this is an important live today. So after this live, what you can expect is that we're going to talk about certain things that are barriers that's stopping you from making decisions, and how to also improve your decision making to make decisions. Not only that you make quicker decisions, but at the same time, you make decisions that are more aligned with what you want to do. So, Aggie, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm all right. So, tell me, what's on your mind? Okay, so the first thing that you want to do is, when it comes to decision making, Aggie, you are coming in. I don't know. You want to stay up, or you?
Sorry, I'm sorry. Okay. I would like to say is to be clear about your goal.
To be clear about your goal.
I see. Exactly. So what do you want for your plans, or so wants to be sure about your goals? I think is to be decisive.
Okay. All right. To be clear, so basically you're saying that what has helped you to be more decisive is to be clear about what your goals are.
Exactly.
Okay. So okay, let me ask you this. Haven't you gone to a point where don't you have something in your life that you find it difficult to make decisions on?
Yeah.
Yeah. If you don't mind, what can you share what that is?
Okay, like when you have a something to build, like you wanna buy a house, sell a house, or you build it and you sell it. So and after you wanna buy a car, like on my age, okay. So that will be very difficult to decide. So according to my goals, okay, it will be very difficult to decide it.
Okay. All right, I understand. It's yeah, not all goals are the same, or not all goals have the same weight, and not all goals. Some goals are short term, and other goals are long term. And sometimes we don't know. Yeah, sometimes we don't know what will be the consequence of a goal, because once we decide here, there's a outside. When we choose something, we also are choosing not to have other things, and so it's like,
Definitely.
yeah. And when we don't choose, we also making a decision as well, because some people can decide to not decide, but thinking that this is a right decision, but at the end of the day, it's not a decision at all. It's still a decision, but it's the decision to not decide. So which means people who does that, they stay in a position of indecision. They stay in a position of the sameness. So it can be because of a lot of situation. Have you ever went through that? I'm talking to you, Aggie. Okay. Yeah. All right. We need to focus here. So, okay. First thing first, when it comes to decision making, so I'm gonna start with the smallest things, and we're gonna build it up. So the first thing first is implement the 2-minute rules when it comes to small decisions, because not all choices or decisions are always the same. Some decisions that you have to make in our lives are very tiny. So let's say, for example, what to eat for lunch and which email to reply to first, or what movie to watch, or all of these things are very small decisions that we have to make. And sometimes it's always easier to make this decision by giving yourself a strict limit or time limit. So for decisions that are relatively low stake, try your best to don't give yourself so many options. Give yourself some limits. So meaning when we talking about limit, we're talking about just 2 minutes. For example, when you're gonna think about, okay, what should I eat? You should give yourself 2 minutes to think about what you're gonna eat. And if after that 2 minutes you haven't made a decision, just pick one. Because at the end of the day, what's the worst that can happen? Even if you pick this food over that one, you can still have the chance to eat whatever you didn't choose another day. So it's not really a big deal. And because these are very trivial decisions that you have to make, and there's no when it comes to a movie that you're gonna watch, there's no right or wrong decision about that. It's more about, okay, which all of the time you try to think about which one maybe you feel like would entertain you more at that moment. But again, small trivial decisions like this, give yourself at least 2 minutes maximum to make this decision. If after 2 minutes you haven't made a decision, just pick one anyway. So if a decision will take less than 2 minutes to execute, just do it immediately. So let's say, for example, when it comes to, whichever small things that you guys have that you want to do, that you want to accomplish, if you find that it's going to take less than 2 minutes, just do it right now. A lot of the time, sometimes some people, we just keep putting things, keep planning things or pushing things in the future sometime. But the problem with that is when we don't address or do things immediately, it stays in our mind. It's still constantly repeating in our minds, and we still have, let's say, if we had to put 100% attention on what we are doing, there's this thing that's still lingering in our mind, this decision that we haven't made or we pushed into the future is still there. So that's why if the decision is gonna take less than 2 minutes, if it's something that you can find that you can do in less than 2 minutes, just do it now. And because if it requires a bit more thought, if it requires more time, what you could do is to plan it. Just take 2 minutes to make the choice before you actually ring the bell, before you actually put it aside, because there are certain things that you can think about. Okay, it's gonna take more than 2 minutes. You can use that 2 minutes to make a decision about something that you're gonna have to make a decision about. And the reason why this is important is because it prevents analysis paralysis. Analysis paralysis is because it's something that happening to all of us this time that we're living in. It doesn't matter if you think that you are the best or it happened to all of us. That's the bottom line. The reason why analysis paralysis is happening to all of us is because we are living in a time that has so many options to choose from. One thing's for sure, 2 minutes for making decisions, for small decisions. If you find a decision that can take you 2 minutes to make, just do it right now and don't put it aside. That's how you become more productive as well. So analysis paralysis is that there are so much information, there are so much decision, there are so many options that we have these days. Then we get to a point that we cannot choose which one that we want to choose because there are so much option. And even on small trivial things. So what can help is to train your brain to move quickly and making quick decision or making quick actions. Because again, if you want your brain to take quick actions, you have to teach it. It doesn't just discover quick actions. Your brain doesn't become all of a sudden so quick at decision making. You don't get quick at decision making if you don't practice quick decision making. And that can only be realizing that all of us, we have an analysis paralysis. We are over-analyzing certain situation that makes us less likely to take decision on it, to act, which is the most important part of our lives, to do the actions that it takes to get to our goals or to accomplish the things that we want. And so to combat, to go against, or to work against analysis paralysis, because think about it, analysis paralysis make us waste a lot of time and energy and mental faculties. So what we could do is to start limiting your options, because some people think that, okay, yes, it's always good to give yourself so many options. But when, again, as we have talked about, when you have too many options, you get into a situation, you become overwhelmed. You don't know what to choose or where to begin and where to start. So when you limit your decision, limit your options, what happens is, and decision often stem from having too many options. That's where you can become indecisive. When options are endless, the fear of picking one wrong one, that's the problem. We don't want to make the wrong decisions. And because we don't want to make the wrong decision, so we end up not picking one at all, or we just waste time. That's why this is important as well. By knowing when to make a decision, it also help you to save time and save. Yeah. So what you could do is that sometimes also what I want to say is that when you don't make a decision that you could make right now, it makes decision in the future even much bigger. It could have been that this decision you could have make it right now, and it was something very small that you could have handled in the moment, but because you didn't make it right now, in your mind it start to build up, it start to grow. And what happened is, when it start to grow, to make the decision or to address it becomes much of a heavier burden. That's why the best thing is to be able to make decision quickly, because some people will say, well, I don't want to make the wrong decision, I don't want to haste thing. But again, it's a skill that you practice, then you can know again how to make the right decision. And the way that you can make the right decision as well is to know who you are, know yourself. When you know what you are, who you are, and what you are, and what you are, the things that you would go with, what match your character or what matches your value, then you would know exactly what not to choose. So making decision becomes much more easier. So what you could do as well, what we could do is to impose artificial constraint, artificial barriers that we create in our minds. So basically boundaries, we can call them. Instead of looking at every, if we were to take a trip, yeah, let's say for example, that's one. Sometimes people can say taking a trip or going on a vacation, or I don't know. You guys can give me an example here in the chat, then I can talk about it. But for now, I'm gonna talk about if you are looking to take a trip, you have to do a lot of planning, or you can start by looking at every hotel in the city. But what you could do to help you to make a quicker decision is that you cannot stay in every hotel in the city. Only take the top 3 rating within your budget, because you have to understand, okay, what is important for you. It could be your budget, it could be the location close to the city or close to the beach, or whichever location that you're looking for. Then you try to pick 3. Don't give yourself too many options, and then you're gonna go through a lot of options, and then giving yourself more work than you actually should. So instead of considering every career move, that's another thing, because making career moves is another situation that we always also have to consider sometimes. Sometimes some people just want to consider all of them. But what could help is to consider just two that aligns with your current goal, that align with who you are right now. Because we have to try to think about it, is that life is a marathon. Making a decision right now, some decisions, let's say for example, if it's a career, you can always shift it. So sometimes we put too much load or too much heaviness on our decision making, and we overthink it. When you find yourself overthinking, just pick the first one. Just choose one. That's how you overcome overthinking as well. When you find yourself thinking too much, then pick one. Because sometimes there's no wrong answer. It's just that for us, we create our own beliefs or our own limitations that we have in our minds. Then we think, okay, if we make this decision, then it's gonna be a wrong decision, or I'm gonna miss out on that decision. But sometimes it's just make one. Yeah, true. Doing this, when you basically start limiting your options, doing this reduce cognitive overload. I don't know if you guys know. I think you guys have experienced what cognitive overload is, because it's more like when you haven't make a decision. I've talked about it already. When you have so much decision to make and you haven't made them, your mind doesn't just put it aside. Your mind constantly keep working on them. So that's why sometimes it's good that you write things down or you journal. Yeah, so basically that helps a lot. So when you limit yourself, then it's easier to compare 3 items than 20 items, right? If you have to compare 20 items versus 3 items, then it's easier for you to just compare 3 or to make a decision from 3. Hold on. So then that makes you even more confident in your choice making, and also make your choices or your process of making your choices. It makes it very much more simpler. It's always trying to keep life more simple, because sometimes we just make it more complex or complicated for ourselves. It's like it just create more mental load on ourselves. So we always try to find the easiest, simplest ways. Keep it simple. What do you want to, Apostle? You wanted to add something?
No, I was just going to say, in terms of decision making, we need to ensure that every decision we make doesn't impede on our future development in terms of our overall safety. Because many times people want to follow their friends, they want to follow negative energy of people that are not going anywhere because all you're interested in is just the fun of life and the parties and all of that. And when they get old and time catch up with them not using their time wisely and effectively and productively, these people are left in a whole life of poverty and struggles, which they, by their decisions, has robbed them from the life that they would not want to chase after by becoming either criminal or whatever means they choose to stay alive. So it even comes down to our decisions now that will lead into the future.
Yes.
But you're on a good road. So thank you.
Yeah, that's a good point you just made, Apostle, because this take me to the next point. Because again, sometimes we can not know. Sometimes when it comes to long-term decision, that's what Apostle is talking about. We can decide right now, but that can affect us way in the future. And the way that you can make a decision when it has to do way in the future is to use the worst case scenario test. With the worst case scenario is basically what's the worst thing that can happen. So first thing first, you have to understand that anxiety always about the future. That's how when we feel anxious about something, it's something that's happening in the future. You can think about the last time that you were anxious. It was because you were anticipating something that's gonna happen. Yeah, so that's how anxiety works. Anxiety about the future often block decisiveness. So when you are anxious about the future, it can make you indecisive. So what you could do, we can pull that anxiety into the light and examine it logically. Because sometimes anxiety is an emotion. Sometimes when it comes to our emotions, when we put logic into it, when we shine the light of logic into our emotions, anxiety for this instant, then it makes sense for us. And when it makes sense for us, you'll find that emotion slowly dissipate. It slowly just calm. You become calm again. You become more in control. So the way that you can use the worst case scenario test is by ask yourself, what is the absolute worst thing that could happen if I make this choice? The worst case scenario. What is the absolute worst thing that can happen? So first thing first, when you're doing this, don't just think about it in your mind. I do understand as people, we are abstract. We can think about things in our mind, but it's always best to use logic with it because again, we are shining light of logic to it. So the best way to do that is to use pen on paper, write it down. One, what's the absolute worst that can happen? One, bam. You think about it, you write it down. Hey. And then two, you think about it, write it down. Even if you have, you don't have to make a long list, but you want to focus on the main things, the absolute worst thing that can happen. Then when you write what is the worst thing that can happen, ask yourself, could I recover from this? Because could I recover from this? Let's say, for example, you are saying, Apostle, if you choose the wrong friends and you go to party and you do, and one thing linked to the next, and you start doing things that substances or, just abusing yourself, not respecting your temple. And
that's right.
Yeah. And sure. Could you recover from that? Let's say, yeah, that's the thing. That's how you can know when you make long-term decision. You want to add something?
That's right. No, you're perfectly good. You're perfectly speaking.
Yeah. So
I would comment somewhere else, but
yeah. So that's how you can know because again, when you make a decision, you don't have to think about it. But if you want to have the broad picture, you want to have a broader awareness, because what is life? Life is about awareness, what you are able to notice and what you are able to see and what you are able to understand. So when you understand could you recover from that decision that you've made, from the worst thing that can happen, then most of the time it will make sense to you in your mind. Then you will find that the worst case scenario is temporary and is something that you can manage. Or meaning that you would know, okay, once you think about the absolute worst thing that can happen, then if it's something that you are unable to recover from, then you know you're not supposed to make that decision. Then it becomes very easy, because a lot of the decisions are very easy, because it's when it's coming from you, you know who you are as a person, you know your boundaries, what you would and or wouldn't do. You have your own character. When you know what you know yourself, then it becomes decisions become much more easier for you, because it's like, if you know, let's say, that's why a lot of the time there's religion. I mean, not all of the time. That's why in the world there's religion, because religion helps us to have a certain value system that we stick to. Then based on that value system, then you know what you call it sin. What's the absolutely worst that can happen? If you can recover, that's a different situation, because you can for some religion you can ask. It's easy to just ask for forgiveness, but that's another topic. I feel a different way about that specific part, but because it can give people the ability, or it can make people feel that, okay, I can keep making mistakes and then keep asking for forgiveness and getting on this forgiveness, and not really taking time to change. And change is very necessary for all of us, because that's one thing that's the most constant thing in our lives. Change. There will always be change. And when you realize that bad decision is rarely a fatal one, because sometimes we can think about, okay, bad, sometimes it could be that we have to make a decision, then we think, okay, it's going to be a bad decision, but sometimes it's not really a fatal decision. But you have to really realize for yourself what could be a fatal decision. And the worst case scenario, remove the terrifying weight of the choice. Because once you know what's the worst, absolute worst thing that can happen, then you know, okay, this is not something that you want to manifest in your life. It makes it easier to choose the things that you want to manifest in your life. So that's the reason why this is happening, or why this is important. Also, adopt the 80-20 rule. I think some of you probably have heard of the 80-20 rules. Oh, ladies, there's one thing I want to talk about, because especially I've heard a lot of conversation about it right now, these days, that, I don't know, Apostle, if you've heard of it as well, when it comes to this saying that ladies nowadays, well, also men, have a roster. Basically, different guys that they are dating. Some guy might be for the trips. Some guys might be for restaurants. Some guys might be for, placeholder man. And at one point, or they might be talking to a lot of men. The red book. That's why you call it. You call it the red book. Damn, really? Sweet. You're not talking to different men. They're talking like. Because this is one thing also, because when it comes to relationship, one of the thing that people should understand is that sometimes it can put people into a situation where they become analysis paralysis, meaning that you have so many options to choose from, you're not choosing one. You're just stuck in one place trying to analyze, oh, this one is better, or this one is good, this one is better. And what happened is, you think that you are making a decision, but you are not making a decision. Is more wasting time. And why this is important is because we don't have all our time. We don't have so much time, to be honest. So that's why it's always better that you limit your options. When you limit, go on.
Can I say this? You raise a point about religious value, which is true, because I read even from the older presidents like George Washington, Abraham Lincoln. One of the quotes that George Washington said: "When a nation is led without God, that nation will ruin themselves and come into great trouble."
Yep.
So it's like it's a soul, because the thing is that the scripture talk about those liars will have the part to play in a lake of fire. When a man or a woman is going about society, dating 2, 3, 5, 6, 7 different individuals, that's a life of a liar. Because every time you go to somebody, you have to pretend to be somebody that you are not. Then it shows your moral strength, your spiritual discipline is out of sync. And then you are bringing yourself as a liar under the judgment and the hands of God, because he already said, no liar shall enter into the heavenly things of God. So we cannot um, eject religion from our daily lives, because at the end of the day, there's either right or wrong. He said in Ephesians, sorry, he said in Genesis 28, 22 and 8, Galatians 6 and 7, he said, for what a man sow, he shall reap. Now, the seed of deception that you're sowing is going to come back on you, and it's going to come back on your generations, because you are molding yourself, and those who are around you are learning your crazy, evil, double-minded, sinister life of lies. And so we got to be careful we are not bringing a curse in our lives by the evil things we do to others, because we will reap what we sow. We will reap what we sow.
Yeah, some people don't believe that though. That some people call it karma, but it's been called the same thing, but in different terms. You reap what you sow.
Same karma.
Yeah. But some people don't believe in that. I do, because it's very. It's like, yeah. Some people they just create their own demons, to be honest, and but if you follow what I'm talking about when it comes to making decisions, then you'll make decisions that are more advantageous for you. This is what I'm talking about. It's not taking away your decision, but it's more about, there are so many decisions that you can make in one day or in your lifetime, but you want to be able to make the decision that's really fitted for you as a person, than ignoring the noise, because we all can say that we have had decisions that we could have made, that we hope that we had made, or the decision that we wish we never made. So this life is about helping us to understand that this is the process that you can use to make decisions that you wouldn't regret. I think that is a good philosophy. Wait. I think that if you bring negativity, you will get negativity. Yes. Yeah, and a lot of different things as well. Sure, same, you attract what you are. That
I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that you attract what you are, because you know why? Some people pray. Okay, I've seen situations and relationships where there are good women. I'm telling you, women who have impeccable characters, and the men that they take into their lives are totally evil, barbaric, selfish, downright lazy, don't want to work, but having her like a slave. It's sometimes the opposite do attract.
Yes. Yes.
I've seen it, bro.
Yeah. Opposite. Yeah, it's true. Opposite do attract. And at the same time, predators attract, they don't want other predators. They want to get the prey. So I understand what you mean when you say, what was the saying? What was this? Let me see. What I missed it. Let me go over it again.
He said negativity brings negativity. I don't agree with that at all.
Negativity. Okay, sure. Okay, same. You attract what you are. No, that's one thing. Because let's think about this. If we did attract what we are, then that would mean all of us would already have what we wanted to have, right? Yeah. So what would be the point? What would be the point of dating? What would be the point of doing? We all would have been so happy. We wanna have. What do you mean? Yes, I didn't think of it this way. Yeah, if we attract what we are, then it means like it's an ideal fit. If not perfect, but less ideal fit.
Exactly. Exactly.
Because if it's an ideal fit, so I wouldn't think my hands is an ideal fit. I wouldn't think of removing it or losing it for nothing. It's like I don't even have to think about it. I can only be thankful for it, because it's a perfect fit. So it's like if you attract what you are, then you wouldn't break up. You wouldn't be looking for someone, not you specifically, but people. You were saying something else, Apostle, about negativity.
Yeah, no. I was just repeating what you said because I will tell you this: a lot of times, whether male or female, we may not know people. We can look at somebody's face and tell or presume their characters or their value on themselves, but we know our value. And many times, whether men or women, we can see somebody like them and then we try to get to know them. And even though they are not at our value or standards, we still invite them in and become like them. And we want to teach them to be better.
Yeah.
But one thing I learned along that pathway, that if a person is not teachable, you can force a horse to drink water.
Yeah.
So you must find somebody, even though they might not be up to your standard, but they're willing to learn or they're willing to embrace the knowledge that you want to impart to help them to become a better person, then yes, you can go along to build that person. But if they don't want to take education, development, and lift their standards and the morality, you need to just let it go.
Yeah.
But there are times we end up with people in our lives,
Yeah, Nadia, why do you disagree? Okay, from what Apostle is saying is that one thing we all have to be is to be teachable or be able to learn. Because again, what I know is not all that I know. I'm speaking for me specifically. I don't know about you guys, how you guys feel about that, but I think there's always something that I could know about myself, about others, about the world, about my profession. Women hope to, about a lot of things. Women hope and pray for men to change. Not always.
Vice versa. Not all the women.
Okay, but that would mean not in the beginning though. If that's when you are women want men to change and men want their women to stay the same. It's like, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's like it starts like this and then it moves like that. So if a criminal come to you, it means that you attract what you are. Exactly, Kiki. What if you're not a criminal? Yeah. It's but it's still a choice to stay, right? But it's still a choice to stay. What do you mean? To stay in a relationship? To stay, what do you mean? Yeah, to stay is a choice.
Yeah.
So
It's still a choice. Yeah. I agree.
Yeah.
Still a choice.
Still a choice. No one wanna be. It's not about what you want. It's about. It's wait. You stay what you respect. You stay what you respect. You repress that. Okay, can you say that again, Kiki? He is
Represent. You see what you
okay, represent. Okay, yeah, I got it now. So he's talking about hoping the person will get better. Okay, hoping. Okay. Oh, represent. Got it. But ultimately, it's okay. I wanted to Biza. It's not about what you want. It's about what you are. It's not about what you want. So okay. So Biza, it's not about what you want. It's about what you are. What does that? What do you mean by that? When you get into, you mean when you get into a relationship, or what do you mean by that? Okay, so moving on. I don't agree. You cannot pick someone on the basis that they will improve. You cannot. How many? Really? Okay. Maybe idealistically, but realistically, people choose others because they hope that the person would improve or will change a lot of the time. Like they'll be like, baby, I promise you this. That's like, baby, I promise you this, I promise you that. Our lives is gonna be like this, our lives is gonna be like that. And then it's called enticing. When I meet a bad behavior person, so you thinks that I represent that. We don't know, Kiki. We don't know. Do you represent that? It's not enough at all. So no way. Okay, no way. You accept what you are, not you attract what you are. You accept what you are. There are certain things that you tolerate. What is life dealing with people if it's not about tolerating? We tolerate each other a lot of the time.
Relationship is simply, brother, and what some of these females don't understand. The scripture teaches two can't walk unless they agree. We must come together individually, even though we are of different cultures, race, whatever we are from differently. We must be able, like you said, to come together and make compromise. Relationship is about compromise. You can want everything that you want, and the person doesn't care about it. We must care for each other's feelings, so we must respectfully address those issues that negatively impact the relationship to destroy it, and we put together the plans, the ideas, and the vision that drive the relationship in a positive manner to keep it together, where both of us are happy together. And that's the point.
Okay. Yeah, okay, I got you. So, okay, the next thing is to adopt the 80-20% rule, which is the sacrificer mindset. Perfectionist, because a lot of the time in our mind we have this perfectionist mindset. It can be a struggle to make a decision. We can be waiting for things to be 100% before we make a decision. Let's look at it. There's nothing, the only thing that is 100% is 100%, just the number itself. But when it comes to our lives, when it comes to a lot of decisions, sometimes the decision might not be 100%. We just have to walk into it. Even life is not 100%, because if life was 100%, then we would have been born old and then die. So, which means we had to load through life. I mean, even though it can be said that it goes 100% and then it goes back to 0%, but it was not 100%. So, which means sometimes when we are making decisions, don't wait for 100% to that. If the decision is not 100% full, or if we don't feel 100% about this decision that we have to make, that we're not gonna take it at all. The decision, in reality, 80% is good enough to make a decision. This is a 80-20-20 rule. Sometimes you might have 80% of what you need to make a decision, and that's enough. Within 100%, again, that's 100% the number itself, 100. So 80% is enough to make a decision. It's good enough. Aim to gather just enough information to get to 80% for sure about the decision that you have to make before you commit. So 80% is what you need to make a decision, not 100%. 100% is perfection. But again, perfection can put you in a position where you basically become struggle. You're struggling to find 100%. You keep looking for 100%. Or you have a 60%. No, we're talking about the 80%, 80-20 rule. If you are, but Kiki, if
80% is fair, 80%
yeah,
is
it's
fair.
fair.
I agree.
Yeah, but if 60% is good for you, then it's good enough. You know, what's good for you might be different. Yeah, it's not about it's one thing first. It's not. Sometimes you have to try not to compare yourself on certain decisions, because maybe for other people it might be 60%, but for you it might be 80%, because you have your own personality and your own needs. So I have to think, okay. So aim to gather just enough information that is 80%. 80% is more, okay. Do not wait 100% certainty, because 100% certainty rarely comes. So we might hope for 100% certainties, but the thing is, there's something called doubt. There's something called uncertain. There's something called lack of confidence. These things can be playing in the background that makes it not 100%. But just because these emotions are taken away, there's again fear, risk. Sometimes you can look at it as fear. You can be fearful, and that can make you not make a decision. So if you have 80% of the information, if you think it's a risk and you are fearful, then it's good enough to make a decision. So a good decision executed today is always a better and then a perfect execution that you will do later or never. So it's better to make a decision based on 80% information today than to do it later or than to do it never. So you guys understand what I mean? I do hope. So once you have, the bottom line is, once you have why to do that, why to do what. So the bottom line is, if you have 80% of the information that you need to make a decision, that's good enough. You can make a decision now. Because again, if you let decisions pile up, it takes away your mental capacity. And how are you gonna know if you make the right decision if you didn't make a decision in the first place? You know? So you want to say something, Apostle?
Yeah, two things just came to mind in terms of relationship. We must never take acceptance of someone who is a contender rather than a partner or a team player. We need team player, not contenders. Many times we are very much we are experiencing mates or spouses that are contenders. They're always contending with you. They always have a competitive spirit. Nothing you say goes. Nothing you say, they don't care what you say makes sense to them. It's only their way or no way. And in a relationship, we must understand each other must bring important value in terms of our communication, in terms of our care, our love and affection, and the way we communicate, brings that will bring the relationship more binded together. So we must be thoughtful and be careful with contenders from partners.
Okay.
Contenders are not good at all.
When we think about contenders, what should we think about? How do you define it?
I define contenders are people that, even though you are right in terms of your moral value, let's say you meet someone who believes that dating many guys are okay. Then you meet another girl who says, "No, I don't date 5-6 people at the same time. I'm a one-hearted person." Then you know that girl who says she is one-hearted, one man's woman, that's a better choice. And then she would not be argumentative. There's some people who don't care to be wrong and they just argue their way no matter what you tell them. Sun or moon, they don't care, brother. Those are the people that you need to be aware of and stay away from, because wrong seems right in their eyes and they don't care who tell them that they're wrong. Those are contenders.
Yeah. And again, that's a gender thing. I mean, that's not a gender specific thing. It's people. It can be men or women. There are some people who just want to argue just for the sake of arguing. So especially if you're not the type of person who wants to argue, or if it's a small decision that you have to make and you don't want to argue about it. The reason why apostles said to stay away from them is because they're gonna zap your energy. You guys know about energy vampires. These are the type of people that's one type. The ones who like to argue just for the sake of arguing. The ones who disagree just to disagree. Who wants to, just argue. So you have to, again, we always have to protect our energy. Has nothing to do with multi-dating. I don't understand what you mean by that. Do you ever lose energy to argue? Don't you ever lose energy to argue? Yeah, especially arguing about something that you can see, the decision is not something big, or it's not something worth the argument. Sometimes if you're arguing just to argue, then if you are, just like what Biza was saying, if you are someone who just like to argue, maybe that's for you. But one thing is for sure, arguments, sometimes it can raise to other things. It can turn into anger, or it can turn into exhaustion. It can turn into disconnecting. It can turn into a lot of things that we know that doesn't bring people closer. Better to be silenced. It's not for me. Bye bye. Yeah. So the last thing about decision making, the last step is to pre-commit to your decision publicly. But this basically what this is talking about is that a lot of the time when you have decisions that we have to make, sometimes we might want to keep decision to ourselves. But if we have someone that in our circle that we trust, we can always share our decisions with them. So it can give us, it can put us in a state that, okay, since I've said this, then I need to see it through. I need to do it as well. So it's like making a promise, not just to yourself, but to somebody else. So that's what it's basically saying, to make it public. But argue is also equal with silence. Yeah, but if you're dealing with someone who just love arguing, silent doesn't, that can be a moment that they want to escalate the argument. And yeah. So when you say it loud, especially if a decision is difficult for you to make, when you say it loud or say it loud by means I'm saying to take it outside of your mind and share it to someone that is close to you, then it forces you to cross the psychological finish line. So it turns a thought into a commitment, making it harder to backslide into doubt. So it gives you confidence when you share your decision or you commit to your decision publicly. It gives you more confidence. It gives you more support. It makes you want to push yourself much harder. So communication, that's why we differ from animals to talk. Yeah. Again, it's not for me.
That's true.
Yeah. Alone and being around. I'd rather be alone and being around drama. What do you have to say about that last part, Apostle? We commit.
So that is true. When you, I think the thing with a lot of men and women is that they do not have emotional intelligence. A lot of people believe that if their spouse does something that they don't like, rather than talking with her, they become withdrawn. Some spouses are very aggressive and abusive, whether male or female. They become angry and they begin to say anything come to them out. They don't care. And so because they're not emotionally intelligent to understand that words of power, words is like a bullet from a gun. When that word leaves your mouth, especially if it is brutal, really disrespectful, demeaning, derogatory, when it leaves your mouth, sometimes not even saying sorry can take it back and ease that pain. And I've seen a life where many relationships could have resolved itself. They could have stayed together, but nobody's humble to even think before they talk, and then that relationship destroy, and both people never marry again because that emotional pain remain with them forever, just because of one word that nobody could have said. I'm sorry, I was wrong, and I should have been the bigger person. Not to say that, and let's wipe the slate clean and let's move on. Apologies doesn't take anything away from you. It shows you that you're a smarter, intelligent person. You show that you're the bigger person when you could admit that you're wrong. And so, but withdrawal can be, I would say, is better to be on the outtop. Again, the scripture teaches this in Proverbs 21. Solomon said, better to be on the outtop than be in a house with a miserable woman, but there are miserable men too. So let us take our time and make decisions that, when you see certain red flags, you don't wait for 5-6 years to know that person was wrong. Begin to pay attention to both male and female behavior, conduct, communication, attitude, affection, care, the way they speak to you. If somebody really loves you, they will be careful in how they speaking to you.
Wait. Apostle, I gotta give you this. I gotta clap for you because that's true. Because how can a woman say that she loves me, but she's not really paying attention to how she talks to me? How can you say you love me, but yet you want to talk to me in any type of way and say I'm a man, you should be able to take it?
Take it. Nonsense.
Take it.
Nonsense. No.
No, don't give me that. Yeah, you are man. You're supposed to be my rock. Yes, I'm a rock, but is that the same thing as being disrespected? Yeah, I mean, because I'm your rock, I should be disrespected.
Fool, a fool,
I should be a fool. Yeah, exactly. I should be I should be a fool. You know what I say to that? I'm like,
Brother, I call that narcissism. That
narcissism.
narcissistic behavior.
Yeah, you see, you don't need 100% to go. Yeah, narcissistic behavior. Some people would recognize these things, and then, especially like the way that we talk to each other, the way that we, especially, if you, when you love someone, when you hurt them, you should feel it also.
Yes,
You know what I mean?
That's true.
Because this emotional intelligence, that's part of it. Because you have the recognition that, hey, what I just did, that that didn't resonate well with me. So
Exactly.
I'm hurt because I hurt you, and I should find ways to amends to make things better.
Yes, yes,
Yes,
yes, yes,
yes.
yes.
Because that's like, you with someone, you connected to the person, which means that you are not only focusing on yourself, you are trying to put yourself in the other person's shoe as well.
Perfect, 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 perfect.
Nobody forced nobody to love you. Yeah, but to respect, yeah, you, yes. Oh, you, what do you mean? Force people to respect you? Do you believe that you should? Okay, I don't know if that's what you mean, Kiki, but Apostle, do you believe that you should force people to respect you?
Bro, anywhere there's love, I've done a study on this. Wherever there's love, there must be respect. Wherever there's love and there's no respect, there's no love. Respect comes with love, love comes with respect. Both of them are undivorceable. They don't go separate from each other. Where there's love, there got to be respect.
Yep. Yes. How can you say that you love me but you don't respect me?
That's stupidity. That's stupidity.
I don't respect you, but I love you, though. No, 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 no. That's like,
No,
no, no, no, no, no.
no, that's not
No,
intelligence.
look, Nadia,
Intelligence.
Nadia, I don't respect you, but I love you, though. I love you still. What? You'd be like, huh? Kiki, I like you, but I don't respect you. Does that goes hand in hand to you? It's like a behind the back middle finger that I'm giving. Like, seriously.
Yes, yes.
You can't force someone to respect you. No, you can't force someone to respect you. If they're not respecting you, you walk away simply. Yes.
No, but the person you love should be both. Total. They should have both respect and love for you if they say they love you.
Yeah. And if you say that you love the person and you realize that your respect for them is going down, you should try to find ways to to work with it, or meaning to have a conversation. Hey, I recognize you did this and my respect for you is going down. Since I love
Yes,
you,
yes.
since I love you, I want us to work to bring the respect back. Because it's like,
Exactly. Yes.
I don't need even to hear I love what? I don't need to even, yeah, really. So Kiki, you are a woman, right? I don't need even to hear. You don't need to hear I love you. You I love you is when I see. Kiki, you also want to see and hear it, don't you?
See, exactly.
Yeah, come on, Kiki. Come on. You also want to see it. I do, Lord. Come on, Kiki, it's not a problem to say you want both, but you mostly want to see it. You mostly want to see it, but you want to hear it too. You don't need words.
Exactly.
Come on. Okay, so Kiki.
We all want to hear and see it. We all want to hear and see it.
Yeah.
Come on.
We all want to hear it and see it. Because at the end of the day, this is what we're doing right now. We are communicating. You are hearing us. I love you. I love you. I can say to all of you. Yeah. Okay, I understand. Yeah, but Kiki, I still believe we all want to hear it. We want it's more reassurance. It's like it's nice.
Exactly.
It's
Exactly.
nice.
Exactly.
It is a big
Exactly.
it is this a big meaning? No for you? Okay. So when you get 0, all right. If you say so, Yes, okay. I don't believe in gaining back respect. You don't believe in gaining back respect? I believe in settling certain rules. It's so it never happens. That's pretty firm, Nadia. Pretty firm. So you don't believe? Okay, what about you then? What's good? So you don't believe on, yes, it's firm. So should people be firm with you like this then? Setting boundaries. Look, when you set boundaries, don't people want to try the boundaries? It's a family rule. It's a family rule. Absolutely. Okay. All right. All right. So let's say, Nadia, since I know that you're a firm person, so if I be, that means I should be firm with you when dealing with you. And you can take that though, right? You know what, you know, Apostle, it's like sometimes, I'm not talking about you, but you just give me an idea, Nadia. Sometimes some people want you to treat them, they expect you to treat them a certain way, but when it's the other way around, they want you to treat them a different way. What do you say to that? Let's say, just like we were talking about respect, some people want to feel that it's okay that they can be disrespectful to you, but when it comes to you talking to them or interacting with them,
yes. I've encountered that. Those people are definitely ignorant, selfish, and doesn't know the real value of relationship. Because relationship is always about two people, and like I said earlier, two cannot walk unless they agree. It says no man can serve two masters. You hate one or love the other. You can't say that you love me, but in the same breath, you want to tell me anything, everything comes about is disrespectful, rude. You give me no support. You give me no accolade. You're always in the negative when it comes to me. But when it comes to you, I must always praise you, tell you how beautiful you are, how sweet you are, how smart you are. But for me, that doesn't exist. That is a person definitely insane. That's an insane person. That's insanity. That's definitely insanity.
we do not. Okay. Oh, we have the FBI. The FBI just joined. How you doing, FBI? FBI, I don't know if you, I have some files I would like to ask you, FBI. Some, maybe, I don't know if you have, but they could not be redacted, FBI. Your home is your temple. True.
Yes, I agree.
I agree to that.
I agree with that.
Respect, communication, trust, mind your words, honesty, and loyalty is for me a very good sign. Okay. All right. Yeah, so like to connect to what you just said earlier, Apostle, because some people should be peaceful. Some people just, for when it comes to you dealing with them, you have to hold them in high regards.
Yes.
And when it comes to the way that they deal with you, then you like an option, then you don't have to be.
Yes.
It's like,
Yes.
okay, like
They're very careless.
they're very careless.
When it comes to you.
That's like,
They're very careless.
that's wrong. Very careless.
It is.
And then being careless like this, it's a decision. You know, it's a decision. Some people can say, well, I didn't know, I didn't mean to do it, but it's a decision. Because how can you be
Yes, it is.
how can you respect the relationship that you have with the person, and if you are being careless, carelessly speaking, carelessly acting, carelessly behaving in a certain way, and then hoping to, to just be understood. But when it's the other way around, for you to be understood, then it's like you don't get it. You understand what I mean?
Yeah.
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 If you don't abide, I walk away. If you do the same, okay. If you don't abide, I walk away. Okay. And say I love you. Yeah. Okay. I understand, Nadia, you have a firm mindset, but I don't know if you, okay, I understand. I don't know if you're that firm though. I'm not saying that you aren't, but I do realize we can be firm, but sometimes there's something that lubricated or that makes it more understanding, because I do understand it depends on the person that you're dealing with, but when we have to deal with human beings or each other, we have to exercise what do you call this, understanding, for example, or what else, compromising maybe, what else, yeah, because one thing is for sure is that when we have our rules, there are certain rules that we can have about for ourselves, for that we impose on other people. It might not be realistic for them, or it might be something that they have to, get used to, because we cannot, some expectation, we cannot just throw it on someone and expect for this person to get it just like that. We have to give people a certain grace to understand.
Yeah. But also, there's some other issues whereby you don't male or female. This is
Yes and no. I agree with you, but there are things in life that cannot be tolerated.
Oh yeah. Oh, that part I agree. There are things that cannot be tolerated. That's true.
It's like, for instance, a child, right? A child disobeys you. What you do is you sit with them and you talk to them lovingly about, what they did wrong and why they did it wrong. But if your child disrespects you, you give them a spanking.
Yes.
Right? You cannot do that with an adult. An adult is your equal. So you walk away.
Yes.
You do not let them engage in disrespecting you. A lot of problems happen is because people just, stay. I mean, and obviously I had to learn that myself and work on that myself, and this is years of coming to terms with certain things. But disrespect is not something, it has to be a general rule of when you meet someone. That it's never something that is going to happen. Because once disrespect has happened, it's very difficult to go back. And the next argument that comes is going to be even more spicy than the last. So the rule has to be no swearing, no screaming, and cool off alone until you're ready to have a normal conversation. Because when you go home, your home is your temple. It's the place that you have to feel safe.
Yep.
But if you don't feel safe and I don't feel safe, there's no need to be living under the same roof.
Yeah. Nadia, good point. What about, there are some people that they feel that they cannot, for them to cool off, they need to have the conversation. The cooling off. Yeah. You know what I mean?
They can, yes, but often the people that want to have a conversation like that can keep their cool during the conversation. However, there's some people that cannot keep their cool during the conversation. And if they start yelling or they start attacking your character, instead of trying to solve the problem, they're attacking you personally, or they are insulting you or using words. That should not be tolerated.
That's right. I agree.
That should not be tolerated both ways. And I tell you, what I impose as a rule is a rule that I firmly respect myself. I do not like to disrespect another person, as I'm saying, especially someone that I'm with. And I have noticed that in life, people have a tendency to respect more people that they don't know than the people that they should be caring the most about.
Oh my God. Wait, Nadia. Ooh, say that again, Nadia. Say that again one more time.
I'm excited. Oh my God.
Say that again for one more time. One more time, Nadia.
Wow.
I say that often people, and I don't say it's a generality, but often people treat better people that they don't know, that is outside their family, and respect them more than the people that they should be cherishing the most.
Yeah,
That is profound.
that is true. Which means
profound.
that's another saying that familiarity breeds contempt. This is like,
Yes,
whoa.
correct.
Like you wouldn't imagine the very people, narcissist ones.
Yes, the character of a person is not shown by what they are outside, but inside their house.
True. True.
Yeah.
Those are
True.
rules that I obviously had to learn myself. That you're not young and stupid, and you know all that. Obviously, it takes books and it takes experience. But those are rules, and that's why I was saying if someone has earlier I meant when the person has a potential to change, you might say that is enough for me to take them. They're sharing with you that they want to change, that they want to be better every day. That's just not enough to engage yourself in a relationship because that person has not proven yet that they live by what they say.
True.
And that is fundamental to a relationship because you're going to find all kinds of people are out there. The love bombing kind, the one that can't keep their promises. But if you find somebody that's already complete in that point of view, not forcibly financially complete, but that are complete with their standards and the things that they want to accomplish in life, and that has already shown that they are on that path, then you can actually think of maybe having a future with those people. But the whole or them talking about what they're gonna do, I could build another Eiffel Tower in Paris tomorrow.
Yeah.
Way of talking.
Yeah.
So that's what I meant when I said what I said.
Yeah. I understand. Yes, that's
Perfect. That was that. Honestly, that was a very point I was going to make before she came up and said that. So she pulled something out of the spirit.
Yep. Yep. That's true.
She pulled it out of the spirit. Bro.
Yeah. So
Wow.
you know what I would like to unpack though, that part, because I've gained to see it happening in a lot of people's lives and also in my life.
It is happening in my life, brother.
Yeah.
It's happening in my life.
Like,
Age for that lesson.
What?
That's the problem too.
what is
Is
wait, what did you say? What did you
There's
say?
no age for the lesson. There are people that are 50 and don't know that, and there are people that are 20 and don't know that.
Yeah, but the thing is though, it's like let's try to unpack this though. People who familiarity breeds contempt. People who just like the people who is the ones that are gonna cause the most problems. That's another thing.
Yes.
Or
Yeah, that's true.
or the ones that's gonna be disrespectful, because it's like
Well, there's some people that are disrespectful and they don't know you. But you're true. It's true what you say. You're more comfortable at disrespecting someone when you know them because you probably know their limits.
yeah.
But it should not happen. Point blank.
That's right.
If you love someone and you cherish that person and you think of them as a treasure, then you should have more care about how you treat them
Should.
than the person outside. You should. I don't think that happens all
Yeah.
the time, but that should be the rule at least.
Yeah.
In my life, I know that it has never been my standards that has stopped me from progressing in a relationship. It has been me not tolerating things that would take place that I absolutely didn't agree on. Obviously, there's limits to everything. I'm not saying that I'm not a judge, I'm not God, and I don't have an iron fist. I'm saying that there are limits in life that you cannot tolerate it. Disrespect is one of them. You cannot tolerate that.
Yep.
You'll never get it back. That's the thing. You think you can get it back. You think, oh, she learned her lesson. Now she's going to respect me. Now she's going to try not to do it. It never ends up well.
It never. Yeah, that's what people don't realize. It's like, if a person is disrespectful, they're just a disrespectful person. That's it. And what you gotta once you gotta tell them is that you might have, like, that's one thing, even for me in my profession, that's one thing that some people don't understand. They find because I'm a lifestyle coach, I'm supposed to be a doormat. I'm supposed, yeah, because they say like, okay, you're supposed to have super understanding of people. You're supposed to be tolerating of disrespect. Little do they realize, hey, I have my boundaries also. If you mess around, there are certain things that I don't there are some things that I find okay. There are certain things that I don't find okay. So some people they just come and with their expectations that that I'm supposed to be somewhat of a god, like that they can do any wrong. I'm supposed to forgive them. I'm like,
yeah.
I'm like, wait, maybe your pastor, but not even your pastor, not even your preacher.
Yes.
It's like everybody, like they are human beings as well. But that's what I find a lot of the time as some clients or some people that I'm dealing with, they're like, okay, wait, you shouldn't react this way. I'm like, wait, you disrespected me and you're telling me how I should react?
Exactly.
You know what I want to say to that? Yeah, like seriously.
Just like that.
That is just not right. But also, I believe firmly that people can apologize all they want, but actions speak louder than words.
That's right.
So that person can say, I'm sorry, but then a week later do the same thing, or a month later do the same thing. That means that for me,
they don't care.
You were not truly sorry.
You're not truly sorry.
You make the effort. It doesn't mean that you're not going to slip, because we're all imperfect human beings.
Yeah.
But you have to show that you're trying. That's important. That's very important.
And some of the manipulated ones or the narcissists, that's what we have to always watch out for, because they have this complex that they'll do you wrong and they'll apologize. And once you say, okay, this is the end, we're done. And then they'll be like, okay, wait, why don't you forgive? How can you be so heartless? How could you be so unforgiving? These are the tricks that they use. That's when
they turn the problem on you.
Yeah,
that's what's happening.
They turn you into the problem.
Or even if you're intolerant, you're not tolerating something. You're intolerant now.
Yeah.
You're the one that's not bending. You're the one that's not flexible. You're the one that is not starting the problem. It's because of you that I became that way.
Yeah.
All those are excuses.
Yeah.
All these are excuses. But narcissists do that. Or they insult you. And sometimes sneakily, if they're extrovert, and then they jab you, and then you get irritated, and then they are pretending nothing happened, and be the victim.
Yeah.
All those
they always play the victim.
do not work with me. And that's why, sadly, people, and narcissists are like that. The minute that you see their game, they're absolutely not interested in you anymore, because they know they can't play with you.
Yeah, exactly. It's no fun.
That is so true.
And the way to deal with them, you have to be firm, like you were saying, Nadia. You have to be firm when you come to you cannot
have to not question your judgment.
Never.
That's the thing. Your gut feeling is there for a reason.
Yep.
Your intuition, your gut feeling. If you know that it's not right, don't have someone convince you that maybe you're the one that has something wrong.
When they start saying that you're the wrong, that have something wrong, this is what you say to them.
I do. I never had a problem with that. I would say, let's put the how we say in French, le pendule à l'heure. Let's put the eye on the dots on the eyes. No. I know exactly what happened, and this is what you're doing, and this is actually And often I know even the psychological word for the term for the word, like diversion or gaslighting.
Gas,
Or,
yeah, all of
no,
that.
I know what you're doing. That's not working with me.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
gaslighting.
Yes, you cannot doubt yourself because that's what they want. In order for them to gain back your favors, they have to make you doubt yourself that maybe you were the one.
Yes, that's what they do.
Yes,
That's what they do. That's what they do. All narcissists, that's what they do.
yes,
But you make me say this. It's because always you make them do something.
yes, you make them
Never their fault.
something. You know, or they'll find pretext to leave the house. They'll come with an argument inside the house, and then they'll leave the house. And
Yes.
that's the
Yes.
pretext
Yes.
for leaving the house and doing whatever they want to do. Because, and you think, oh my goodness, I did something wrong, or I didn't talk to them right. And it's not, I mean, yeah.
That is true. That is true. I encounter all these things.
Precious people.
And
All you're
and
saying, I encounter all of those things. But
Yes, yes.
I am
That's
getting rid of it.
you know,
And there's more narcissist people that we know.
there's more. Exactly.
Yes.
But what tends to happen, there's more than we know, because sometimes we always think of the, you know, the major, like when it comes to narcissism, we tend to think, okay, it's not the person that, you know, that we are with all of the time, because, you know, when we are in love, when we have feelings for people, we can
Yes.
be blindsided, and that's a normal thing. But the thing is, But the thing is, the reason sometimes what we have to do is that sometimes the narcissists, they do certain things and they'll try to soften you up, they turn your own mind against yourself, and then, you know, make it basically soften you up in order to give him another chance. But when they do this, you have to raise up. You have to be like, yeah, tell yourself, what are you hearing? Hey,
Yes.
bye. Like,
The thing is that if you can identify the game, you are far ahead from it.
yeah.
Because then you can realize what that person is doing to you, and you can answer appropriately.
Yeah, sure.
But it is very important to know what are the signs of narcissism and control.
Yeah.
But a lot of them don't start that way. Usually it's the most altruistic ones, the ones that give the most, that show you the most, because they want to put themselves in that status that you admire them prior to them going into that. You would say manipulation and the cold side of them. So they always start with being the most loved person on earth and doing everything for you to be happy.
Yes.
And
Everything.
that's actually funny thing. It's one of the things that you should be looking for the most is when the person goes overboard with kindness, because that also is, instead of being a good attribute, it can be a sign of someone being abusive.
Let me ask you this, Nadia. So let's say, because narcissism, let's say, for example, you know, some people are upfront. They say what they want and they mean what they want. And then if you think in the future you can change their mind, it's not going to happen. And then when you notice that you cannot change their mind, even though they told you what they are, what they want in the very beginning, then because they stay firm on who they say they are, some people will say, well, you're a narcissist or you are selfish. Is that?
No. I've been always like that, especially when it was the Red Book period. I was always
The
a
Red
person
Book.
that said in front what I wanted or I did not want. I was not a liar. I did not, I would say I didn't play around with people's feelings or mine. But people always try to convince you otherwise. And then they get frustrated and upset. But you had already set the rules from the beginning.
Yeah.
That is not being narcissist. this is you telling them straight what you are not expecting out of that relationship or you were expecting from it. Set the
Yes.
tone right. And
Yeah,
then
gotta set
it's
the
up
tone
to
right.
them to engage and decide
Yeah.
if they want
Yeah.
to be in this or not.
Yes.
But that is honesty. That's not narcissism.
No,
Yeah.
it's not. It's not.
Yes. Yeah, but you know, sometimes some people can just try to take something that is good or understood, but try to
Oh,
flip it into something that is
lot.
negative.
A
Yeah.
lot of people cry abuse when there's no abuse. They try to be the victim when they're not the victim.
Yeah.
And you have that even. I was watching a video yesterday about people that the new trend is all those kids that go no contact with their parents.
Yeah.
And they were saying that it's becoming a trend where it's no contact. Now, it's the same. You have to examine whether it is because it's truly toxic or it's because nowadays the child doesn't want to take the responsibility towards their parents anymore.
Yeah. I remember seeing a video like that
A
too.
relationship because some people don't want to take responsibilities. So instead, they accuse the other one. Oh, I'm the victim. Because they don't want to take the responsibility of what they did in the relationship or what contributed to the end or the fall of the relationship.
Yeah. True. Apostle, I'm gonna take a break. Any last things you wanna say?
You're gonna close out.
Yeah, I'm gonna
My last statement is that I enjoy this subject matter here today. It has brought greater perspective, and it will help me even to plan my life, whether private or professional, for what I should say, in a more assertive manner, a more serious, conscious manner,
Yeah.
going forward in my life, so I can win at the end and be more productive with every decision that I make.
Yeah.
So thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming up. I hope I'll see you next time.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, that's what it's about. Be more decisive which help you to be more productive as well. Nadia,
Yes.
any last statements that you want to say on this topic?
Well, I like the 80-20 rule. I thought that was a good one because I have a tendency to go 100%. So I really like that advice. It's going to make me rethink some stuff, that I have going on. But yeah, it's true that sometimes we delay. And that's another point that she brought up that I thought was really interesting is that sometimes we delay a small decision at the point that we create a monster out of it. It becomes something very hard to do when it shouldn't have never been. You have taken a decision initially. So I thought that was really good what you said about that.
Yeah, because when we create a mountain or monster out of a decision is because we keep packing decisions together, or indecision rather. We haven't been made. When 80% all of the time, 80% is a passing grade,
Yes.
So it's a passing grade. Even along the way, if it's 80%, maybe the 20, and along the way, the 20% could be perhaps added. But within 100% is it's a sure way. It's basically you're not gonna make decisions, and at the end of the day, what really matters is decisions that we make. That makes that change or shape our lives. Yeah, 80% is good enough.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah,
Want to think about that.
yeah. All right. So all the single ladies, your list might be long, but find the 80% out of that long list. Okay. Find that 80%, and yeah. Yeah. Okay. All right. That 80% should be